Sally with the Polka Dot Life. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. I hope that you have had time to look over both the Holiday Mini Catalog and the Sale-A-Bration Catalog. They are full of so many goodies. Let a comment below and let me know what is at the top of your wish list. It's time again for my monthly color challenge issued by my team leader, Brandy Cox. She gives us colors each month, and we are to use those colors and come up with a card. We can use very vanilla or basic white cardstock, and we can use black ink in addition to the assigned colors. But otherwise, that's it. So the colors this month are Night of Navy, Melon Mambo, and Basic Gray. So let's get to the craft desk and start creating. I can't believe that it is already time for another color challenge video. Today I've chosen to work with the Feels Like Home stamp set, and that is on page 6 of the Sale-A-Bration brochure. This is one of your options for a gift with purchase, and that is at the $50 level during Sale-A-Bration. This is just one of those stamp sets that calls for watercoloring, or like I say, sometimes you can just do one color on a card and it's kind of like a toile image kind of thing. So that's really a pretty option as well. But it has great greetings, and that is one of the things I love the most about it. And it just screams summer to me. Our assigned colors this month are Melon Mambo, Basic Gray, and Night of Navy. I think I want to start with the Night of Navy. Now, I took this piece of basic white paper and I stamped the main image from that stamp set on here. And I used StazOn ink. You want to use the StazOn for the technique we are using today because we are going to be painting with a water-based ink, and so we need to stamp our image in an alcohol-based ink so that it doesn't smear. It is also very, very humid and hot right now where I live in Alabama. So I chose to go ahead and stamp these and let them sit for several hours to dry, just to make sure that we didn't have any issues for our video today. I am going to be using one of Stampin' Up! Blender pens today. You can pick whichever side nib that you want to use. I went with this one. I apologize, it sounds like I'm about to be part of a thunderstorm here, but we are going to keep going in the spirit of pressing through. Our stamp pads can be used for so much more than just stamping. I'm trying to decide where I want to start first. Let's start with this flower pot. And you just get a little bit of this on this blender pen, and then you can stretch it out on your image where you would like it to be. You can drag it across and it will get a little bit lighter as you go. So if you want to do some sort of shading and highlighting, if that's your thing, you will be happy with this technique. I'm just really going for getting them colored. It is a little bit subjective of where you want the dirt and the leaves and all that kind of thing. And if you wanted to have a little different variation in color, you could just not go back in to your ink pad to reload. If you wanted to get a different shade, you simply could just stretch this out about as far as it would go. I am going to go back over it, but I may just take a little bit of that off before I go in. And like I say, I will probably do like the edges first and then carry some of that across like that. But it certainly doesn't have to be anything fancy. We are going to move to our bicycle. I'm going to swap places. We're going to pop up that basket, so that's why I have 2 images. And I chose to do my fenders navy blue. Do our structure of our bike. Navy. And you'll find you may have to come back in and, you know, re-ink up to get it to kind of go smooth. After a while, you'll be able to tell how much ink is loaded on here. Just need to take a minute and look at this and think about how far down that goes. I do not have my magnifying glasses on today. I probably should have done that. You just have to stop and look at that image once in a while and kind of figure out where the handles are and all that kind of thing. And I am going to do that little spot. Now, like I say, when we kind of do our little paper piecing, some of this may shake out differently. I just want to make sure that I'm looking over my bike and I'm looking at my example to make sure that I didn't miss any areas that I want to be this navy blue color. I think that's a sprocket. I'm not up on my parts very well. Now, it's important you clean this off because we're going to be going into a different color and we don't want to muddy up that color. And I know if you're going, like, say, from a lighter to a darker, some people say you don't need to. I would do it anyway. Super fun. And if we need to go back and color in something, then we will. And let's load up our basic gray a little bit, just to make sure. And I'm just taking it right onto the edge of my ink pad, just in case that I hadn't gotten all that navy out. And like I say, you just kind of have to go kind of ish on this one. This is a small, delicate stamp. And so you just kind of have to pick what you're going to color and what you're not. And what part is flower, what part is leaf, what part is pot, all that kind of stuff. And I went out a little bit there. I'm going to call out my own boo-boo. But you know what? It just kind of goes in with the floor there. I could blend it out, but I think that would just draw attention to it. So I'm just going to leave it just like it is. Now, of course, if I wasn't limited in what colors I could have, I would definitely do some green on these flowers. I'm going to do the little petal and kickstand, and I'll do the little grips in the navy. It's kind of like I say, it's kind of hard to tell the difference with the navy and the black, or the navy and the basic gray. It's really, basic gray is really just a light black if you do it pretty heavy. And just do this little hanger portion right there. Then we're going to move on to our door. And I chose to start coloring in this frame area. And you work at your pace. You don't worry about what someone else's pace is. I am a slow crafter, and I'm fine with it. I had to learn to be fine with it. You can always fast forward ahead if you need it to go faster. And let's start with our Melon Mambo. Let's get that loaded onto our brush. And here, make sure that it's all pretty clean. And like I say, this is so tight in here. Unless you have supervision I think it'd be very difficult to color that like super individually. And we just lost power here for a moment. So I want to kind of get this wrapped up. And we'll just fill in this vine a little bit down the side there. And again, we're just going to make sure we clean off our blender pen. And you know it will be clean when it runs clear. And these reds are hard to clean off. I mean, not hard, but you just have to take a little bit more time. So we have our main image, and then we have this one that we're gonna fussy cut out our basket. I won't make you sit and watch me fussy cut that, but we're just gonna take this little piece here with our bone folder and just kind of lightly give it a little curl. Nothing great or industrious, just, and we might just want to lay that on here just to make sure that we don't need to cover anything up. I'm just going to use one of the end pieces here from the dimensionals to put on the back of my basket. And we're just going to do this to just kind of give it a little extra dimension here. And you can kind of just press those sides down to kind of get it to bend around like a bike basket. I have this piece of Melon Mambo, and I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue around the edges. Nothing too extreme. Got a little thick there. And I'm just going to center it in this piece. It has a nice 1/4 inch border around. I have had glue on my hands all day. There we go. I have a basic white thick card base. We're just going to fold it and give it a nice crease with our bone folder. I use the Meadow Moments embossing folder, and I don't know if you can see it on there. You can probably see the pattern a little bit better if I put these colored strips underneath it, but this is one of those that will fit in our mini machine, our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, if you have that. And I am just simply going to put a strip on the top and on the bottom, and I flipped them so the pattern stays to the outside so that we can see it. So I'm just going to take this Night of Navy strip and put some glue around it. And I'm going to put this embossed side. Again, I'm going to put it on the outside edge. This one has a little bit larger border around it. We'll do the basic gray. And then we'll have about that same border in the center. And I chose to use this liquid adhesive so that I could work with this a little bit if we needed to. We are going to flip this layer over. We're going to add some dimensionals to the back. I apologize that my printer is freaking out right now since the power went out here just a few minutes ago. Take those backings off, and I am, since it's going on an embossed layer, I am going to put some liquid glue on my dimensionals. It's going to help me have the ability to straighten this if I need to, but just because it's on that embossed layer, it gives you a little added sticking power. People discredit liquid glue. They don't always think that it's strong, but it is very strong. So isn't that a sweet card? Again, it might not be my choice of colors for doing this stamp if I was just going to do it otherwise, but I think that it looks very summery and very welcoming. It feels like home. The card I did first, as my example, I did the door different and I didn't even pay attention to that. The power kind of threw me off here. But I colored this one solid, and I did this one where I left those 3 panels. I left that plain. I like them both. I'm not sure. I kind of like this one. It makes it a little more crisp, but I like both of them, and I'm happy with both cards. I did go on to decorate the inside of this one. I just stamped Missing You, and I punched it out with our Oval Occasions punch and added just some layers in here, and it just makes that, especially when it's on a basic white and it's a pretty white background card, it just gives it a little bit of color. My next card also features a Sale-A-Bration item, and I used the Shaded Summer dies and stamp set. I just stamped my focal image in the Melon Mambo, and I used the dies that are the Sale-A-Bration portion are the dies that match the set. This might be from the art gallery set. I'm not exactly sure where I stole that from. And I used our punch and just added this basic gray. And in our twine pack, we have white, so I added that. These, I had nothing as far as embellishments go to work with it. So I took our basic pearls, and I used my Night of Navy alcohol marker, and I colored them and then left them dry, and then I could add them to my card. And this is a piece of the Night of Navy shimmer paper. And so this is the color and contour. I just cut that flap, I just cut it in that shape, and so that shimmer paper just shows through so nicely on the front. This last card might be my favorite, and it is just simple, and I like that. So grateful for everything. I used our Daisy Garden stamp set in the basic gray and our Ornate Thanks, and I must have had some Night of Navy on my fingers. I have a little smudge. I'll have to get my sand eraser after that and see if I can clean that up. If not, we'll do something with that to fix that. And then our Melon Mambo right here. And just a very thin border of that Night of Navy around it. I think that this could be a great card to send to a man, especially a man who likes gardening or flowers. It's not super girly. Or we have those friends that aren't super like pink girls. They're not the foofy, ruffle kind of girls. They have a really unique style that's very streamlined and sleek, and I was always jealous of that look because I could never pull it off. Here are our 3 color challenge cards for August, and you can let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. I hope that I've inspired you today to maybe take this challenge and pull out something you have and try to recreate a card, be it this one or create your own using these same colors. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.